the most realistic steering system available on the market, look no further than Sim Steering from Leo Bodnar. Designed and hand-built at the home of British Motorsport's Silverstone Circuit, it's extensively used by professional driver training centres and race teams including Formula 1 since 2010. The high precision and completely linear response coupled with high strength provides the ultimate in realistic steering force feedback. Visit simsteering.com.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. The GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels including Logitech, Fanatec, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Good afternoon, iRacers, and welcome to ARL-Tv. We have travelled north from the lovely Watkins Glen Circuit to Montreal in Canada for this round 5 of the Sim Racer Asia series. I'm Alex Simpson. I'm joined by Lee Thompson and Brenton O'Brien in the booth today. Good afternoon, fellas.
Hello, Alex.
G'day, AC. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Right, 30 laps of Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Right, well, what can I say about this circuit? Absolutely fantastic Formula 1 layout. Going to be very, very tricky. Got to watch out for a lot of slowdown penalties here today. The obviously the McLarens and the Roughs alike can abuse the curbs a little bit, so I expect we'll see a little bit of that going on today. But yeah, I think we're going to have one hell of a race, like pretty much every other one in this series so far.
I think we're going to see lots of walls, aren't we, Alex? I think it's a tough circuit for off tracks. Other places you might get away with it a little bit. Here, where you're pretty much surrounded by the walls the whole way around, I think we're going to get lots of people using up those fast toes.
Yeah, weather conditions pretty much perfect for today's racing. So just the iRacing defaults by the look of it. So just a little bit of cloud cover, 26 degrees, and 3 kilometers an hour wind. So yeah, shouldn't have any issues with some tailwind causing trouble or headwind or anything like that. So just straight out racing. Sorry, Brenton, I cut you off just a second there. So yeah, over to you, buddy.
No, it's all good. No, 30 laps is longer than the normal race. From what I believe, I think they've got about 30 minutes usually. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. As Lee said, the walls and the shortcuts are going to play a major part in tonight's race.
Yeah, just to give a shout out to all the sponsors for ARL-Tv, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Apex Racing TV. Facebook is /ARL-Tv, and Apex Racing TV for YouTube as well. And yeah, thank you to Sim Racers Asia for putting on the series and getting us on board to broadcast these weekly events. We're proud to be here, and we look forward to doing the rest of the season.
The other bit of intrigue for today, Alex, is going to be a bit of variation in strategy we're thinking as well, right? So McLarens and Roofs, we're expecting one-stop strategy, but the Ford GTs, we're thinking they can go the whole race, is that right?
Yeah, so the Ford's notoriously a little bit slower. Should be able to make it up on the pit stop strategy today, so yeah, no stopping. Could be almost 33 seconds they're going to say, so we'll have a look. There's only the odd GT driver out there, so yeah, let's see how they do throughout the race.
Well, if they keep their nose clean and out of trouble, you'd like to think they'll progress through the field. It's just keeping out of trouble tonight, is it? Past consistent laps, keeping out of trouble. No doubt you'll get the benefits from that.
My prediction is if you don't use your fast toe, you get a top 5. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be a good call today. The walls are super close around this circuit. We've seen in practice as well, just guys just picking up a lot of subtle little damage around the the fairings and things like that. So over time, that's going to start to make a slight difference in the way these cars handle. So yeah, I think top 5 is spot on.
My prediction at some stage, I think the track could be blocked. There's going to be a lot of cars at the same place at the same time. It could be a bit messy, so hopefully they'll have a bit of patience and work it through.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Star Mazda race, real life one, where the track was completely blocked off there after the first or second lap carnage. So yeah, let's just hope we can avoid that. Tricky first few corners as well, very, very tight at left, right hander, followed by the chicane that's after that. So I think if we can get through that section and drivers have got themselves into single file, we'll have a good race on our hands. We're a bit unfortunate at Watkins Glen. There was a few little incidents going up the hill after turn 1, quite common. So let's hope the guys have took on board that and perhaps just give each other that little bit of room just for those first few laps.
So it's still fairly early into qualifying, not quite halfway through the qualifying session yet, but it looks like that In Ho-Yun might have a little bit of a battle on his hands for pole position this week. He's been really the quickest guy out there for the rest of the season, hasn't he? But Dongwoo Gang at the minute is 1.5 hundredths of a second ahead. Both quicker in their qualifying session so far than they both managed in practice.
Yeah, no time to put your best laps in than qualifying, so 10 minutes to go as well, so they still might improve on it yet. Lee, you drove the rough quite a bit in recent weeks. I mean, what's the key to getting a good lap time in round this circuit and in this car?
I think it's going to be striking that balance between how aggressive you are with the inside curbs, especially going through the chicanes. And as you said, the Riffs and the McLarens cope with the curbs pretty well, but I'm sure there's a lot of time to be gained if your setup maybe allows you to be a little bit more aggressive, straight line it a bit more, get on the power a bit earlier. So I'm thinking that's where a lot of it is. There's some heavy braking zones, so the main one would be into the hairpin just before the back straight. So the stability, not having to rely on the ABS too much, perhaps could gain you some time there. But yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be those clattering over those inside curves as best you can.
Brenton, we've seen in recent weeks that draft seems to make quite a big difference as well. Are we expecting much of the same this week?
Yeah, we are. If you get a good drive out of the bottom hairpin, there is the potential to put us before champions wall at the last chicane there. So yeah, there is a chance here tonight. Just having a look at qualifying so far, there is a large gap between second and third. So if it stays that way, it could be a race of 2 tonight. But the rest of the field's very tight.
Yeah, just having a quick look at the Drivers' Championship. You obviously In-Ho still out front at the moment, 150 points from Korea, so those guys looking particularly good for it as well. You've got his what effectively is his countryman in third place in Dongwoo Gang. He's obviously in the rough on 99 points in third. Maluna from Indonesia in second, 113 points. He's been a particularly consistent driver throughout the season. All three have really, so it's no surprise to see those guys taking up the top spots.
I'm actually been looking. I'm not sure if Maluna's here tonight. I can't see him at the moment.
Now that would be a shame if he's not. I know the drivers do get. I think they get one drop round throughout this championship.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot. Yeah, I don't see him.
Fortunately, the only trouble with sim racing every now and again, real life affairs take priority, and have to sit yourself out of a race every now and again.
That's a shame, because he's always very entertaining to watch. He always seems to be able to strike some kind of trouble early and race his way back through the field, so that's a bit of a shame.
Got 5 guys that are going to be starting from the pit lane this week. A few of them carried over from round 3 penalties as well, so we'll just see if they take to the track or not this week. But that should free up a little bit of space, as I think Dongwoo there just has a little bit of a love tap with someone exiting on the chicanes to see a car parked across his path. So That lap is avoid. Resets to the pits for another. Just to also mention as well, there's been some amendments to the schedule. If any of you guys have tuned in and seen what races are up next, Bathurst and Suzuka have replaced Zandvoort and Alton Park, purely because the success of the series so far with the large grids that we're seeing each week, those tracks have been brought in just to tailor-make for the grids of over 30. It's kind of nice to see the admin team sort of moving with it based on the success of the series.
Yeah, having the addition of Bathurst is a fantastic track and well suited to these cars as well, so that's already a race that you should be looking forward to next week, I think it is.
Yeah, that's going to be one heck of a race. I mean, we talk about this one being all about keeping it out of the walls. That one's going to be even more important as well. So I'm not sure if it's going to be 30 laps around there, because that's a heck of a long race, but it might be. And that's certainly going to separate the boys from the men out there. Well, back to this week, just a little over 5 minutes left of qualifying at the moment. Let's just take a very quick look at the provisional grid order. Those front twos always seem to be nip and tuck, like you say. Brenton, quite a gap back to Kim there as well. So could be an interesting little race in that mid-pack though, very, very close. Just looking at that, we are, what, 0.2 of a second covering from 3rd to 7th place, so yeah, we'll get the final grid order in a moment. Just have a look at it at the moment.
Well, and I was just watching In Ho Yon on a hot lap, and it looked like he could have well been on for taking that pole position, and then he found himself just clipping the wall of champions as he came onto the front straight.
Yeah, always that final chicane. That's probably one of the, I mean, they call it Wall of Champions for a reason, but when you run for a good lap, you see your delta times up there, and you know it's going to be good. All the pressure gets put onto that final corner. You need to hit both apexes perfect, or you can just lose an absolute bucket load of time just from that one corner. Slight miscalculation, a foot either side, and it's a good half a second loss just like that. Make contact, it doesn't matter whether it's good or not, it's all invalidated. I think once the race gets going a little bit later on, we'll see a lot of the lead battle will be all about navigating through traffic as well today. So fairly decent sized grid out there again, and we've always seen throughout this championship that there is a mixed batch out there as far as drivability goes. So I think we will see the leaders catch up and start passing traffic quite quickly, and in the past that's caused some problems, so we'll see that again. Drivers just being a little bit careful when they're getting around lap traffic, and you know, you can make advantage of someone's hesitation, pick up a place here and there. So keep an eye out for some interesting battles around the back markers.
Yeah, it's a narrow track, of course, in a lot of places, which doesn't help. But of course, the other main thing is that you can be unsighted by the walls a lot. So the lapped car and the car doing the lapping may not have quite the amount of time they would do at other circuits. You come around a chicane and find a slower car there, and everyone doesn't have quite the amount of time to prepare, maybe.
Yeah, tricky little pit in as well today, always something to be careful of. I've seen it many a times and been involved in a few of them myself as well, where drivers who want to pit in are following somebody who's not, might try and just sweep past them going into the braking zone, or might accidentally go into the rear of the guy just in front of them. So yeah, going to be, we'll keep an eye out for that. Let's hope nobody has their race finished because of because of a mistake going into the pits.
I think, just having a look at the field, sorry, just went away for a while. Having a look at the field, Concoro car 404 has changed to the Ford GT. Obviously thinking specifically for this race because he won't have to make a pit stop. I have a feeling it was in the rough last week. Although it might have been the McLaren, but he's definitely new in the GT.
Yeah, he's going to see if he can take a bit of advantage for not having to stop. He can drag that Ford around at a reasonable pace.
Well, he's 6th in the championship, 74 points. He's well behind. He's 76 points behind the leader, but there's an opportunity with a good result. He could go up tonight with some good strategy.
So everybody now is going to be on their very last run, trying to get their improvement in qualifying in. Still no change at the top. The rest of the field have just closed up a little bit now. Just third place is just 3 tenths or so behind pole now. Was half a second 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, just give a big shout out and thank you for everybody tuning in today or watching this back later on YouTube. If you've got any questions or anything else out through the race, do post them via the comment section. I'll be keeping an eye on that and try and make this a bit of an interactive commentary for you. Seems like we've got a good split of cars out there this week as well. Normally when we see these GT style events, the rough has been dominating them out there. I think it still does have the lion's share, but there are a fair few McLarens and a few GTs out there this week, so it's good to see.
Yeah, so the roofs are very much a flavour of the month, aren't they still? But yeah, it's pretty nip and tuck really at most tracks between the roof and the McLaren. You know, the majority feeling is that there's not much between them. So McLaren's you know, a good choice still to make. Right, so the checkered flag has come out on the session now, and we're just again waiting for these very last laps to everyone to finish their final lap, rather.
Yeah, a few guys realising they're going to improve, so they abort. Looks like Zardri here. Looks like he can get an improvement going into this final chicane.
And I think that the very final car on a lap is going to be In Hee-yun, so we'll see if on this very final attempt he's going to be able to snatch that pole position back. Manages to get through the chicane much easier, but he aborts before he even gets to the line. So yeah, that's it, man. So everyone has now completed their lap as far as I can tell. Yep, definitely. So I guess it's going to be me taking us through the grid as normal. Pole position, Dongwoo Gang, so 135.051. So great job by him to pick the current series leader In Hee-yun in second. As I said earlier, just a 100th between them. Won-Hil Lee took a 135.398, so just 3 and a bit tenths behind in third. Yongkyun Kim in fourth, Fahad Ghaffur in fifth, Charles Fiesera in sixth, Akiro Okada in seventh, Hosen Lee in eighth, Nazirul Safri Pajot in ninth, Kevin Huang in 10th, Bitnam Choi in 11th, Min Park 12th, Minyoung Hoi Kang in 13th, Tae-Woong Ha in 14th, Funny Lazardi in 15th, John Anthony Mateo in 16th, Dongbin Suk in 17th, Paul H. Rogers 18th, Riven Fang 19th, Dead Ahmed Kunkaro in 20th, Shane Reynolds in 21st, Marcus Huang in 22nd, Chandra Jong in 23rd, Chang Young Kim in 24th, DK Lim 25th, Dewu Lumba 26th, Hang Ho Tae in 27th, Mohammed Noor 28th, and Mod Anim 29th was the last qualifier. There's a couple of names listed, so we'll see if they take the grid, but 29th was the last car to put in a time.
I say well done to you there, Lee. You probably need a drink of water after that one. Good job.
Yeah, just waiting for the final guys here to form up on the grid. As we said, we're expecting about 5 guys to start from the pit lane, so it's going to be a little bit of space out there.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So that, of course, the 5 cars who didn't put in a time then. So yeah, cars in the pit lane then. That's going to be Darren Wong, Mark Lang, Jake Maloney, Galeb Bascoro, and Stephen Buckade.
Yeah, well, Mark wasn't down on the list, so he's obviously opted to start from the pit lane anyway. Perhaps a little bit of a strategic call on that one. Right, round 5 then here, Montreal Sim Racers Asia Series. Everybody is building their revs, lights are on, and we are here racing. And it looks like a little bit side-by-side action there from the 3rd row. Good start though, and Inho round the outside of Dongwoo. Fantastic move there, he'll be delighted with that. Get straight into the lead, put the pressure on his countryman. So far so good, everybody filters through turn 1, turn 2, into the first of the chicanes, always very tricky. Lots of room being given by everyone as far as I can tell. Great driving so far.
There's a big accent in the back, but Chandra Yong's actually probably rolled 3 or 4 times, so it's a bit messy back there.
Yeah, looking like a clean start from the leaders though. Good start from the top 10.
Chandra's actually just driven straight out in front of the table as well, so both of those cars are going to need a tow straight away.
So Fahad Ghafoor looks like the big winner from the grid there at the minute. He's ended up in 3rd position for now, under lots of pressure from Wonil Lee, who was in 3rd.
Yeah, looks like Hanzo Lee as well, coming under a little bit of pressure from Kevin just behind him. Had a little look going into the hairpin, but perhaps a little bit too far back to make any kind of move.
And position change trying for 3rd place as they go into the final chicane. Wonil Lee gets up the inside of Ghafoor there. Ghafoor got a very poor exit because he was forced onto that line, and so he's going to lose another position or more as they get into turn 1.
We're almost 3 wide, a little bit further back as well, Charles there.
A little bit of contact between Ghafoor and between Kim as they try and slop down into the little kink before the first proper corner. I think they both get away with it, but it was a bit messy, so Ghafoor now is down to 5th. So after lap 1 then, we've got Yon in 1st position with Dongwoo Gang in 2nd, Lee in 3rd, Kim in 4th, Fizura in 6th, Ghafoor in, 5th for Fizura, 6th for Ghafoor, 7th for Lee, 8th for Huang, 9th for Okada, and 10th for Paul H. Rogers.
Oh, Young just getting a little bit out of shape through the middle chicane there. Doesn't abuse the track limits, so no slowdown. These guys are already starting to break away from 3rd place now.
Yeah, not surprising from qualifying in the practice session. We should see them to continue to build a gap. Really, they don't want to be squabbling away too much for these first few laps. Break away first, and then they can start getting into it a little bit from there, perhaps.
Yeah, it looks like Lee's going to come under a bit of pressure from Kim here. Actually, no, it's a bit further back, sorry. Just looks like a couple of cars just having a little bit of a blink as well. Just to spice it up a little bit going into that World of Champions chicane.
And I see at the back of this leading group I've got a 4GT back there. I think that's Kokura from earlier, so he's managed to stay out of trouble for these opening laps at least, and perhaps his strategy's going to be working out not so bad.
And we've got to keep an eye on that time there, 12.6 seconds after a couple of laps there. And just sort of slicing through cars here at the moment.
He's a couple of seconds off of the pace of the leaders, but still that's going to be quite, I mean, just a compare that with, say, sort of top 5 pace, he's right in amongst them, so he's not going to lose any time there. So switch out in the car might be a good call.
Already the leaders are trying to negotiate back markers, so this is getting a little bit messy already, even though we're only on lap 2.
But he's got Farney, Concora's got Farney in his sight, so he must be very confident at the moment. Just keep out of trouble. He's running 14th on the road. He's only going to go forward from here if he stays out of trouble.
So a possible position change coming up between 8th and 9th as they come towards the final chicane. So you've got Kevin Huang in 8th and Akira Okada in 9th, trying to get a good run in the toe. See if he can make a move up the inside into that final chicane. He moves out. He's going to be a little bit brave, he's a bit too far back. Just tries to distract his mirrors for now. Ooh, but Kevin Huang takes lots and lots of curb, clips them all I think on the exit. We'll see the damage he gets from that.
Obviously something's happened to arriving as well. Generally always in the top 5, top 10 in the McLaren car number 8 there is just being lapped, so obviously he's had some early dramas down in 28th place and getting lapped.
Oh, the leaders! Oh, the leaders have a back marker spin right in front of them at the second chicane. In Hyun had to jump on the brakes, and the car just about managed to pirouette out the way. They stayed as they were for now. Dongwoo rather wasn't really able to capitalise. I think he was having to jump on the brakes as well. That really then means that it's a 3-car battle up front now. 1-0 Lee has gained a good couple of seconds of time.
That's not what. Just had a quick look at that back on replay. That is not what you want to see as a leader. Lap 4. It's like, oh dear. But yeah, thankfully no damage caused, and they carry on.
But it's a good opportunity for Dongwoo Lee to see how long he can keep with the 2 fastest guys in this series, and see if there's anything he can learn from their laps, negotiating track as well as just sheer pace. So could be a good useful experience.
Yeah, we haven't seen Wongo up there that much this season. In fact, I'm trying to think when I've seen him. I obviously wasn't here last week for Watkins Glen, but I think this is the first time I've seen him, so good showing so far. As far as the country championship goes at the moment, all the guys tuned in from Korea will be loving this, as those guys are sitting 1 and 2. Furthermore, consolidating their position in the championship. It's a long race to go though, Alex. Let's stop cursing them.
He's got a great battle on here with 7th and 8th, with a couple of back markers involved, with Charles Zera and Kevin Huang, the MP4. Just 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, with a couple of gag markers, all the way actually up to 11th, all nose to tail. Great race so far there.
Ooh, contact between Charles Teresa and a back marker. And yeah, that was unfortunate. That all came about from the previous chicane. The back marker had already blocked Charles, and Charles had to take to the grass. I think that was a bit of aggression from Charles there to perhaps repay the experience he had at the previous corner, maybe.
And unfortunately, I mean, Concaro got involved with that, not majorly, but certainly would have cost him about 3, maybe 4 seconds that lap.
Yeah, it's dropped him down a few places as well. He was, as far as I can tell, in what, 10th place, maybe 11th. So yeah, down and showing in 13th now. So. Yeah, a little bit of gap formed after that hairpin action as well at Min Park. trying to catch on to the back of Dongmin.
There's going to be some busy pit cruises. Quite a bit of damage to some of these cars already.
I have to say though that so far, compared to Motorsport, which I think was the last race I was here for, I haven't seen as many people just struggling generally just to sort of generally stay on track at least. Everyone seems to be running perhaps a bit more at a pace that they feel they can get around the circuit at, and then it's just perhaps a bit of tanglements with back markers at the minute, which is the main issue. But at least everyone's seems a bit more clean, a bit more consistent through the race so far.
Yeah, they've settled into a pace, haven't they? So, you know, I guess as the season gets on, they all know their limits and who they're racing around, so that's always going to be an important thing for them.
Good battle going on here as well for 14th and 15th between Kang and Wong. Looked like one was going to have a move into the hairpin there, but thought better of it. Lost a little bit of time coming out of there, so needs to get in the draft and try and make it back up. Doesn't want to lose too much ground. He's got Kim just behind them, just about 1.2 seconds further back.
It's going to be a promising race. What are we on lap 7 now? Dong Wu Gang and Montreal is not losing much ground in Yong, so as the race goes on, I think the McLaren pit's about lap 14, so hopefully.
And even just behind them as well, 4th and 5th, they're still there with them. It's almost a 5-car train, so the leading 3 just really aren't getting away at all there, as the back markers desperately tries to get out way of a hairpin. All just about was going to collect gap 4 there in 5th place, but I think they're okay, just end up a little bit scruffy. But yeah, top 5, all pretty much on the same piece of tarmac, really.
Well, they can all see each other on the straight, which is fantastic.
So the field is, strung out a little bit now, although we're saying everyone, isn't miles apart. There's no real direct battles going on right now, mostly just blown apart from that hairpin incident a few laps ago. So still Yon in 1st place, Dongwu Gang in 2nd, Wonil Lee in 3rd, Kim in 4th, Fahad Ghafoor in 5th, Hyson Lee 6th, Kevin Huang in 7th, Paul Rogers in 8th, Funny Lazardi 9th, and actually this is our little battle really, Dongbing Suk in 10th. That's our closest little fight at the minute, is between 9th and 10th for Lazardi and Suk.
Yeah, and right behind them with Charles Desir in 12th place and Min Park in 11th place, both very close as well. They've had a few dramas in the last couple of laps.
I was about to say, we're just looking back now from gearbox camera of Min Park, and we can see that Charles got a fair bit of front damage on that rough there, but it doesn't seem to be slowing him down too much. Like Dongbin was. Sorry, Brent.
Sorry.
You go.
Just on our Ford GT watch with Concurro. To me, that's one of the more interesting. What's happening in the race? He's 30.5 seconds behind. He lost 7 seconds, unfortunately, on that hairpin, which is it's going to be a massive chunk for him as the race goes on. He needs every second he can get. And he's 30 seconds at the moment. We believe pit stop's 35 seconds. So he's getting out of touch of the leaders already, but he's going to progress well.
Yeah, it still could be looking as good for a sort of like maybe a 6th place now. The top 5 all quite close, but from Hunso Lee in 6, it looks like he's got a chance to having a bit of a race with him. It's going to be difficult because obviously he's going to have them chasing him down in the second half of the race. He needs to try and hold on to it. Now, I don't think the Ford is that much slower in a straight line. It's just a little bit, but I think he'll still be able to defend. You just have to be quite aggressive with it.
I think the other problem he's going to have is also with trying to lap cars as well. The majority of the lap traffic's going to be down the straight. Like you said, it's not that much of a difference, but just trying to keep up with them originally around some of the turns was probably where he's going to be set back a bit.
It's actually great to see these front 5 cars as close as they are on the circuit as well. Good mixture of cars out there, McLarens and Roughs alike as well. So it just goes to show with a little bit of tweaking, you can just get these cars to be really, really competitive.
In 4th position, Yong-Kim Kim looks like he's pushing very, very hard. I've seen him clip the wall twice in half a lap, first on the exit of the Wall of Champions and then on the exit of the first chicane. So he's got a little bit of damage now on the right hand side of the car, and that's going to be giving Gafford behind a little bit of motivation to try and keep pushing to see if he can capitalise on any further mistakes.
Yeah, he's closing in on Lee ahead of him as well, so he is pushing. You can see why as well. He's got a fair bit of pressure behind, so.
But isn't it great to see the top 5s racing so close? It's fantastic racing. We're interested to see how it pans out. If they all stay clean with their lap times, it's going to be a real good finish. We're only talking 6 seconds between 1st and 5th here, which is fantastic for this series. The last couple of races have been a bit one-sided on occasion, so it's fantastic to see.
And just looking at the cars recovering from incidents earlier in the race, we've got 23rd, 24th and 25th all nose to tail at the minute coming through the first chicane. That's Hang Hotel, Zuri Peugeot and Riven Tang. Peugeot looks to be the one with the most visible damage, but equally he looks to be the one that wants to be moving forward a little bit as well. So yeah, 3 of those all nose to tail.
Yeah, it's one thing we can say, we mentioned obviously there's quite a range in sort of driver's ability out there, but that's why it's such a good little series actually, because there's always somebody out there for you to race with as well. So, anyone tuning in, watching now thinks, oh, I'd like to have a little bash at this and worry perhaps that they might not be able to compete. It's got such a wide variety of drivers in here, and guarantee you find yourself having a good race out there somewhere. It's a nice little move going into the hairpin corner. Job well done. It's going to get a run, but it's going to have to go extremely defensive now down the back straight. Looks like they're going to be pretty much side by side.
Yeah, Peugeot looks to just defend from the centre of the track a little bit initially, but he's able just about to hold on to that top speed as they head now down the front straight. Unfortunate then for was that Tao, I think, behind, just losing the rear going out the final chicane.
He's been stuck there a while. He's finally got a bit of clear traffic, so he's on his way. So it's good to see that he waited. There's our man, good car, eh?
Inho just pulling away very fractionally now at the front. Up to 1.7 seconds. Starting to feel a little bit comfortable. Knows now that Dongwu's got no slipstream behind him, so it's all about just a race amongst themselves.
Well, my expectations, McLaren's be coming in about lap 14 for a pit stop, and the roughs can last till lap 15. So, yeah, maybe that one extra lap out there with lighter fuel might make a difference. Well, I'm not sure whether McLaren will need to change tyres. I don't drive them personally, so just that one lap could make a difference if it stays that way.
Yeah, and good to see actually, still that front five, still all within 7 seconds of each other, so just little separation between them all now. So they're all doing their own thing as back marker just comes out in front of Inho there. Should concede the place going into the chicane. Doesn't?
Ooh, doesn't
No,
make
he
it
does
easy.
not.
Yeah, and
And,
Inho puts a couple of tyres on the grass there, gets himself nearly out of shape. Still won't let him go, so
Still behind him, he's just causing him
Yeah,
a
let's
lot
just
of
race. Let's race for leaders. Let's put up a good fight. There we go. Right, so Yun at least is able to get through without losing too much time, and now the back marker's woken up and is letting Dongwoo Gang go, it seems.
Well, Yun was really putting some pressure on there. He just did the fastest lap of the race in 36 flat. I'll be interested to see how much that time's costing. It's definitely pretty big.
yeah, I mean the gap was up to 2 seconds as he crossed the line, but just looking at the live delta time, and we're already looking at 1.5, so it's half a second he's lost behind the traffic there.
Could have turned out a lot worse. From the beginning of that, it looked like we were going to have a bigger problem. So at least he's got through, and he still knows he can keep building that gap again.
Yeah, but he'll be due in for a pit stop. Not this lap, probably the next.
Yeah, that one extra stop just might see Dongwoo get ahead. Be a completely different race at that point.
As again, I see Kim in the background struggling on the exit of the final chicane, right up against the wall.
Yeah, well, that lap cost him probably about 0.4 of a second on Dongwoo Gang, so not as much damage as what possibly could have been. But he's got through clearly. There's no damage to his car, so he can put his head down and get racing again.
Good little battle here, 14th, 15th. Wong just put a move on to go, at the hairpin there, so he's having to defend now to the final chicane. He's got the job done. Moves himself up into that 14th place. Place, my apologies. Actually, a few guys look like they might be in the pits now as well, so that's spicing it up just a little bit.
Yeah, Min Park and Charles is here from 10th and 11th, I think they were at the time. We both had pit stops. And from what I understand, they can now turn their cars to map 2, so I'm going to assume that makes them faster. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, actually it's a little bit slower, so it looks like they're going to have to do a little bit of fuel conservation for the end, so that's Dongwoo as well, is in the same.
I'm not sure that for the leaders they'd have to do the same. So Inho Yun has continued round. This time we were thinking that he might be coming in, so he's managed to save an extra lap of fuel than maybe he had originally expected, so he might be able to go full power then for the second stint.
Well, they could also describe why the top 5 was so close. He might have been just racing very tactically, just keeping it clean, getting some good times and saving a bit of fuel so he can run hard in the second stint.
The first of the leaders that have pitted though is Fahad Ghafour, so he has come in at the end of lap 14 in his roof to take his pit stop, and he is still stationary waiting to be released again.
Paul Rogers from 9th is coming as well on the roof.
Yeah, Ghafour out now, 19-second flat pit stop for him.
Ooh,
Just see where he's going to feed out.
Sorry Alex, the same back marker that we saw really obstructing Inho Yun and the rest of the leaders a minute ago went into the back of Young Kim into the second chicane. I was watching the two of them thinking that may actually happen, and yeah, Kim's managed to keep going. I don't think without with any further damage. I think he got damage from the impact, but it didn't hit the wall, I don't think. It spin him round. So Kim's lost a big chunk of time to the cars around him, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's just see if we can bring that up on a little replay and take a quick look.
And it was Kim on Kim, of course.
As our leaders come into the pit, both.
Yeah, I just see the aftermath of that. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. I think he got a slowdown penalty because of it as well, didn't he? So, made it even worse.
Actually, first, second, and third in the pits in this week. Not sure how quick the fuel gets put into the McLaren compared to the rough, or whether it's the same, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. Should be a straight out fight. Dongwu deciding that he's not going to drive through Inho. Goes around him.
And I don't think he's taking tyres either.
No, not in that McLaren. None of them are actually. That they're all sat down there where the rough definitely up on the jacks. Looks like that might have cost him a little bit of time. No, not at all really. Actually, exits just where they were. So let's have a quick look at the times then that they were. So,
and Kankuro comes out just behind Dongwu Gang. Well, it doesn't come out, slots in just behind Dongwu Gang, so our non-stopping 4GT.
Yeah, so had he not had that mishap with the back marker, and I think it was Charles that put him on his roof, at 7 seconds, well, he'd have been quite comfortably in the lead at this point.
That's just good to see the GT up there, and we haven't seen the GT up there in any of the races so far, so it's just good to have that little bit of variety. Hopefully he can stick with it. His lap times are going to be down, but he's got track position.
Yeah, he's got 1-0 Lee all over him as well, so both on Lee didn't take any tyres either, so none of the McLaren drivers did in that stop, so heels will be already up to temperature. Back marker there giving guys a very wide berth. Good driving.
Yeah, 1-0 Lee's going to be looking to make a move already into the final chicane, I think. Got a decent exit coming out the hairpin there.
Yeah, we'll see the speed
Kankuro
difference.
has got the toe of the car in front.
Yeah, feels the
Already
need to
feeling
go
it.
defensive.
Yeah, the GT's not too sloppy down in the straight though. It's even with the draft, he hasn't been able to get the stick.
Ooh, just struggled on the entry to the chicane though, but he's just about managed to get himself through.
Let's see if he can defend this position into turn one. Get that greater run out of the chicane. No. Lee's comfortably through.
Yeah, those guys were lapping a couple of seconds faster in the early part of the race. But I have to say, I think he's in a very strong position, Kankuro here, for the remainder of this race.
Oh, as I see both Dongwu Gang and 1-0 Lee just gave a brush of the outside wall again at the first chicane. So it looks like that Inho has pulled the pin. I reckon he's happy with his fuel quantity now, and he has built quite a big gap to the two behind, even in this a lap and a half since they've come out of the pits. So he's looking to really stamp his authority a bit more on the race now, I think.
Yeah,
Just wondering whether that's also due to he's got come out on warm tyres, whether the rough takes a while to warm his tyres up, as one's taken, Dongwu Gang's taken fresh tyres, so whether he takes a bit of time to build up, not sure.
Yeah, just looking at the outlaps actually between them as well. Gang lost 1.5 seconds on that outlap, so it's quite a bit of time there. But yeah, 4.4 seconds now, a further half a second in that lap, so I think you're right, Lee. I think now has just wound it up. He's absolutely lighting it up and he's going for it.
And it's Dongwu Gang now who's under pressure really from 1-0 Lee in third. So 1-0 Lee is as close as he's been the whole race so far. So he's going to be looking to really keep pushing on, try and capitalise. He was 3 tenths quicker last time round.
And Concurra lost about a second to Gafford as well, so he's coming slowly. But we've got 12 laps to go, so that's going to be an interesting battle. 3.5 seconds between them at the moment, so perhaps not quite the pace of Lee, so it's going to be a little bit harder for him to get a move done. Got Dongbin just trying to put a little bit of pressure on Kang here. Actually looks like he's had a couple of stops as well, so I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. It's the McLaren driver.
And good effort by car 21's in position 15, Jaron Wall. He was involved in the first lap incident heavily. But he started 30th on the grid and he's made up 15 spots, so that's a good drive by him in the rough, the car 21. So he's done really well.
Yeah, one of the drivers who had to start from the pit lane, I believe. I'm just checking that now, indeed he was.
Yep.
So, yeah, coming from the back, decided not to qualify, so gutted that he got caught up in that, I'm pretty sure, but nonetheless, yeah, up to 15th place, still looks like he's going strong.
1-0 lead all over the back of Dongwu Gang now as they come into the second chicane. Looking to get a good run leading up to the hairpin, I think.
Yeah, Dongwu definitely struggling out there with those fresh tyres are not giving him what he wants.
Here we go. Dives up the inside into the hairpin, just about manages to hang just barely onto the apex. Dongwu Gang gives him a bit of space, but Dongwu should get a better exit really out of that hairpin, and we'll see if he can come back at him now as they come to the Hall of Champions final chicane. So 1-0
out of the
defends, yeah. Dongwu Gang moved out a little bit early maybe. He's going to struggle perhaps to make this move now. They're almost side by side, just a quarter of a car between them. Oh, side by side on the brakes. And 1-0 Lee holds that position, both pretty clean on the exit. 1-0 Lee up to second.
I have to say I was very surprised how quickly Yongwu Gang pulled out of the slipstream there. I thought he could have held it a lot longer there.
Yeah, just those extra couple of Ks might have got him a little bit further alongside, maybe even just a nose ahead. Let's just check with the battle for fourth. Still got a 2.5 second lead as Concurra over Gafford, but as I said earlier, he is coming. .7 of a second difference between them. Ten laps to go. ARL-Tv Sim Racers Asia GT Series here from Montreal. I'm Alex Simpson, joined by Lee Thompson. Brendan O'Brien had a very, very good first 20 laps of this race. Inho looks like he's starting to really stamp his authority now. 5 seconds a lead in front of Wong Hill Lee. Dongwu Gang as well struggled after the pit stops. Put some fresh tyres on, it's not got them up to temperature. They might come good towards the end.
You know, he's got a very clear track in front of him. He's punched out some respectable times, isn't he? But the race for second, it's still on. If he gets the tyres warmed up, you just never know. He's definitely still thereabouts. It just seems to be dropping off a little bit. And our man Concurra up to fourth. He's got some competition with Gafford catching him no doubt behind. But I'm imagining as that Ford GT gets lighter and lighter, he's only going to get better and better. He's done really well to hold fourth.
It looks to me like I think the chat was that the roughs would have to go on mix 2 for the second stint, and I think that's what's hurting Dongwu now. Certainly his lap times are nowhere near where they were at the start of this race, and definitely seems to be impacting his performance. I think he needs to stay on the back of Wong Lee here and just try and drag him around the track. maybe later, if he knows he's 100% sure he's going to finish, he can put mix 1 on there and perhaps have a little go, just trying to pop into the P2 spot. But I think Inho is way out of reach now.
Yeah, he is. He's a serious lead. He's driving it sensibly, isn't he? He's driving it fast. This is why he's in the lead of the championship at the moment, and no doubt his countrymen will be very happy with the position he's in.
It will be interesting as well to see how Gafford does. Gafford pitted a lap earlier than everybody else, I remember. So we'll see whether he did judge his fuel right, whether he's suddenly going to realise in the last few laps he's got to do massive fuel saving, and that could give Kunkuru a sniff of a chance of holding on to that 4th place, perhaps.
Well, wouldn't it have been interesting, I know, in hindsight, but that 7 seconds that Kunkuru lost, he's 10.5 seconds behind the leader now, about to go across the finish line, so he would have dropped a bit, but that 7 seconds, woulda, coulda, shoulda, he would have been up higher than what he is now.
I was about to say he'd have been in 2nd place at this point as well, and with what looks like, I mean, he's only lapping half a second slower than Dongwu as well, so you have to think he could have perhaps held him off as well. Dongwu having to fuel save. So
yeah, he's got Gafford all over the back of him now, though, so interesting to see if he can hold him off. Gafford seems to have the pace at the moment on him.
Well, as Kunkuru runs a little bit hot through the first part of the chicane now, that really allowed Gafford to get up alongside on the exit. Kunkuru is either going defensive or is deciding to let him go. I think defensive is the choice. Gafford going to try and be braver on the outside of the second chicane, is he? Outbreaks himself comfortably and let him through, yeah. Not the worst decision. He knows he's quicker and he just wants to make sure he stays clean now and makes use of this strategy. But if he's not careful, then 6th position behind. Hoyosun Lee is not far behind.
Yeah, but he's running respectable lap times, isn't he? And I would say if you've offered him a top 5 position at the start of the race, I think he would have taken that.
yeah, it's always hard for him as well, because I mean, couldn't qualify towards the front because obviously the Ford just a little bit slower over the course of the lap, so he's already going to have lost 10 or 15 seconds just for the way the field spreads out over those couple of laps. So I have to say I think he's done a pretty amazing job, and like I said earlier, without the back marker involved there, could have been so much more. Definitely the right call though, I think, to pick the car. I'm surprised we didn't see more people do it.
I guess it could be just down to what people are used to as well. You being comfortable in the car, but shows an ability to be able to drive any vehicle, doesn't it?
Wonhyo Lee now definitely moving away from Dongwu, so I think that battle is over and done with as well. That mix 2 really hurting Dongwu. So a little bit further back.
Yeah, we've got a good battle between 7th, 8th and 9th, Alex. So Yongkyung Kim, who had that damage earlier on from the back marker, running into the back of him. Charles Facera and Kevin Huang, all just a second or so apart.
Yeah, just coming up on a little bit of traffic. Is that ahead?
Kunkuru is going to be dropping down into 6th position very, very soon. Outbreaks himself and backs into the head, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what's going on there, because he's had a really slow couple of laps. Just whether the GT, we're only assuming he's going to make the full distance, he might have to do some fuel saving as well.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it could be tyres just getting a little bit slick underneath him. Interesting, the 3 cars here in this battle. You got. Ooh, we talked about potential pit-in problems there, and I think that was Charles there. He just about avoided contact. Could have been very messy. Well, that's released a few of the guys behind now. Continue this battle.
Just with the lap traffic with Young makes such a difference, doesn't it? He's lap 22 is a 36.8. The next lap with lap traffic involved 37.9, so a drop of 1.1 seconds.
And our next battle developing is 11th and 12th. Paul Rogers in 11th and Min Park in 12th. Coming through first chicane. They're both looking pretty clean at the minute, both in the roof. See how they're both getting on with, say, tyres and fuel saving and any particular issues through there.
Poor old Min Park, I've watched quite a bit of him. He's had a lot of dramas with shortcuts. It's cost him a lot of time. I reckon he would have had probably 4, maybe 5 shortcuts so far this race. So keep it clean there, and we might get another one. No, he just braked a bit late. He's got it up away again.
Yeah, and that battle has fizzled out even just in that half a lap there. They were nose to tail coming over the start finish line, but it's going to take a while for Min Park to get back to him. He was a fair bit quicker last time by. Paul Rogers had a slower lap, by nearly a second in fact, but he's got some work to do to get back there.
Really, the battle's going to be whether Concora can hang on to 6th now from the charge of 7th and 8th. Kim in 1, and the MP4s only 4 and 5 seconds off respectively with 5 laps to go, but are driving at a pace that they can catch.
The leaders trying to make their way through a fair bit of traffic at the minute. 3 back markers are all negotiating. Yon Lee has got cleanly through, and we'll see how the rest manage to get by as well.
Yeah, the gap out front's only 4.5 seconds, so it's not over and done with yet. 6 laps to go. One little mistake, one slow down penalty, and we've got a race on our hands.
Yeah, I just saw Bojo did just blow his engine at the bottom here. And Concora's being absolutely swallowed by 7th and 8th places. They've taken 1 lap to catch up at 4.5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean he's lapping about, as he crossed the line there, about 2.5 seconds slower than what he was doing at the start of the race, so definitely struggling out there. Whether he's hit the wall and we've missed that off camera, but just looks like he's got no confidence in that car anymore.
Just noticed that the car under acceleration is a lot more taily, so all I can assume is that it's the tyres. And the tyres, he's let the car show. The tyres have had a fair run, haven't they? 26 laps. Really, he's going to have to start looking behind him as to when the next car is now, because he is dropping time off quite considerably as Farney. You'd like to think he'd probably stay in front of him.
Yeah, 12 seconds, but the rate of closure, I don't know, 2 seconds a lap, 5 laps to go. It's going to be close. As long as he can keep consistent pace, should be alright. To say an 8th place result wouldn't be too bad. Looks like he's struggling with a lot of understeer as well when I was on board just a second ago, so yeah, maybe the front, those fronts have gone.
As Lee predicted, our 4th place man Gafour is actually in the pits again, so it's his 2nd stop. So he wasn't going to make it with fuel after pitting. That too, I think. Doesn't look like he's got any damage.
Yeah, so that's going to once Lee's going to get himself up into 4th place. Indeed he does.
Yeah, just a quick stop and go. He's still there. He's out now.
Yeah, just a splash of fuel. Setting back down into 7th place though. 1-0 Lee as well. Is definitely closing in here on Inho. We're down to 3. No, it looks like it's a bit of a slower lap this time by, so got caught with a back marker I think, so the what was 3.8 seconds is going to shoot up to 6 by the time he gets around to the start-finish line.
And it's surprising because our 10th, 11th Min Park.
Oh, actually, he's got. Sorry, Brenton, to interrupt you there. He got a lot of damage on the front of that, and that's Dong Wu catching up now. So 0.4 of a second behind. So Dong Wu's got a chance of nicking the podium spot. So he must have been in the wall somewhere. Lee didn't see that, but damage on the front of the car, rear spoiler damage as well. Actually, that front of that car looks in a terrible shape.
Yeah, and that's it. Dong Wu going through, up into second place.
Yeah, again, we're happy with that. I think he perhaps a bit frustrated on that mix 2, thinking there's nothing he could do, but 3 laps remaining. I think Lee's got a chance of catching 1-0 here as well, so it's 11 seconds, but it's a lot. Oh, hits the wall hard, big time problems now. That might even be a meatball flag, which is going to mean he's got a pit.
Yeah, so the initial damage there for 1-0 Lee was exiting the second chicane. He just spun up the rear slightly, I think, and as he tried to correct it, it put him back into the wall again.
Well, he had 12 seconds at the start of this lap to back to Hyun-Soo Lee. So he's going to be in all sorts of trouble hanging on to that spot.
But Yudson Lee has got problems. He's ground to a halt, so he had a slowdown penalty, I think, there. So he's lost a big chunk of time on this lap anyway.
Yep, he has.
Yeah, what was 7 seconds he got the gap down to, this lap has shot up to 11, so just looking at the live timing. Very busy down the bottom of the circuit through the hairpin there, lots of traffic around.
And in amongst that traffic, we've got a battle between 5th and 6th. So Hyung-Kyung Kim and Kevin Huang both still pretty close together. And with all this traffic now in front, we could see a bit of action perhaps.
And our man Kokoro is just slowly but surely leaking away. He's down to 9th now, and his time's at 1:45, so he's really, really off the pace.
Yeah, those tyres definitely have screamed enough.
Yeah, but the other 4 GTs in the 142s, it's Mark Lang, he's right behind him, so Kokoro's hurting more than the other GT.
Two laps to go. In her looking strong. 8.7 seconds, or 8.9 seconds, sorry, the gap. So, just got to bring it home these last 2 laps. It's all about whether Won Hyo is going to hold on to the final podium position. Looks like he's going to have about 6 seconds lead with 1 lap to go. I don't think that's going to be enough, frankly. I think he's going to lose the podium here. I just think 1 lap ago it was about 11 seconds, so that's 10 seconds in 1 lap gone.
Well, we have to know whether he got a meatball as well. I think he'd be right to get to the finish.
I don't know, it was 4 laps before, and you normally have 3 laps, don't you, to get in, otherwise it disqualifies you. The leader crosses the line to start his final lap. We'll jump to that right at the end, but we'll keep an eye on this because this is going to be quite tight. We can see Lee and Kim as well in the background. Kevin not too far behind, so could be in danger of dropping down to about 6th place here on this final lap.
And there's a back marker between the two of them as well, which could get awkward, of course, depending on how the back marker decides to play it. He's going to probably try and overtake first of all, I suspect. We'll see. Alright, so here we go, almost 3 wide, almost going into the second chicane. And Lee can be nice and patient, and he's going to have plenty of time to make that position. See how hard Won Hyo Lee's going to try and make it though.
I think he needs to make him overtake it. Has a look.
Up the inside. just about managed to get in side by side, hanging together. So, okay, that's one position done. How close is everyone
Now
else?
have to look for Kim. He's within shot. He's within shot. I reckon he'll be in chance of dropping his publishing position here.
Was the
Just
back markers are
chaos down
squabbling
the
away in the
bottom
hairpin
of
as
the
well.
track here.
Oh, and one who he had to get
Oh.
completely out of it there as well. Okay, right, where's the leader?
Kim will have him. Kim's going to have him down the straight here.
The
Yeah.
leader's already crossed the line. Sorry to In-Ho Yon there. Congratulations to the win, Yon. Dongwoo Gang comes across the line in second.
There's the position change here. Kim's got it comfortably. Bit of traffic here at the chicane. This is going to hurt.
Oh, we might get it back, you never know.
One who will lead,
It's
here we
gonna
go,
be
side by side.
Probably a slowdown, maybe.
Maybe not.
No, he didn't.
What
Well,
an end to the race.
A little bit of excitement there for us, but yeah, In-Ho, sorry about that. Just missing him crossing the line, all the action behind him. Dominant victory, 9.6 seconds. Dongwoo Gang picks
And
up second.
Koro is out of petrol, I believe. He's cruising down the back straight.
This will be why that he's was saving like mad then, just trying to get it there. Couldn't quite eke it out.
Yeah, he hasn't made it. That's unlucky.
Yeah, and that Ford is not going to reach it from there.
No, it's
Gotcha.
uphill all the way.
Gutted for him there. Yeah, 13th place he's dropped down to now. He tried his best, didn't manage to make it.
Well, I tell you, there's no doubt you'll go through the results, but big shout out, car 21, Jaron Wong, end up finishing 10th after starting from pit lane and being involved in the first turn incident. So congratulations to him and our winners.
Yeah, we found the pit lane 3 times as well, so, you know, just goes to show you can do it. Car looked all intact though, so I think the pit stops were more, you know, the first one was forced on him. And then just a couple more times for fuel.
Oh, it's just painful watching Paul Koro just stop there. He did such a patient job, just a few hundred metres to go.
So Lee, can you take us through the final standings please, buddy?
Yes, so congratulations to In-Ho Yon. Yet another win, stamping his authority again on the series, extending his championship lead. So In-Ho Yon in first, Dongwoo Gang in second, Hudson Lee just about getting to that podium on the last lap in third, Yongkyun Kim just about managing to escape that carnage in the final chicane, finishing 2 tenths ahead of One Hill Lee, who had dropped all the way to 5th, Kevin Huang in 6th, Fahad Ghaffar in 7th. He had to make an extra stop and the rest of the leaders just misjudging his fuel a bit. Fanu Lazardi in 8th, Charles Fasira in 9th, Jaron Wong in 10th, Min Park 11th, Paul Rogers 12th, Bitnem Choi in 13th. Everybody else then was a lap down, so Konkuro was the first of those to be classified in 14th, Modanim in 15th, Myun Kang in 16th, Chang Yun Kim in 17th, Marcus Huang in 18th, Riven Tang in 19th, Mark Lang 20th, Dongbin Suk 21st, Dewu Lumba 22nd, Nazarul Pajau in 23rd, Tae Ho in 24th, Shane Reynolds 25th, DK Lee 26th, Mohamed Noor 27th, Hang Ho Teo in 28th, John Mateo 29th, Akira Okado 30th, and the final runner was Chandra Jong in 31st, 28 laps down.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that race actually. I thought it was a fantastic race, a lot of excitement going on there, and the front few were nip and tuck all through that race.
Yeah, I was impressed, guys. So after seeing the Motorsport race and the carnage that we really saw in there, I was expecting the worst. So well done to everyone for it overall being a much cleaner race. Yeah, a few bits and pieces, but at least for the most part, everyone was just able to keep it on the track.
Right, I think you're shooting, Lee, so thanks very much for joining me this week. We're obviously World Championship next week, so we won't be here, but perhaps returning for the week after that. So, but yeah, thanks for the help. And Brenton, as always, we've got Kevin popped in for an interview, so we'll drag him up in a short second, but we'll go for a quick commercial break while Lee departs, and yeah, we'll be back in a moment.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels including Logitech, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Welcome back to ARL-Tv. We are joined in the commentary box with Kevin. Congratulations on your race today. Kept yourself out of trouble for the most part. Picked up some steady little points, helping in that championship. Just tell us a little bit about your race today.
Not much to say, I guess. I qualified pretty poorly. I don't know. In practice, I could do 130 below 136 pretty easily, but I don't know what happened today. I just couldn't get comfortable with the car, and that continued on in the race. The first stint was just completely messy. I made a lot of small mistakes, and I was just doing really not that great of lap times. I was just trying to survive instead of concentrating on lap times. And then the second stint was much better. I think everybody, all the MP4s, I don't know about the roofs, but the MP4s, we all switched to the map 2 fuel saving mode to try to get to the end. So using map 2, I don't know, I was faster. I was catching up with Junkyum. At the end, I think I was setting up for a pass, but I got caught up by lap traffic, and then that's pretty much end of my attempt.
Yeah, it's something we saw a lot of actually, because I think Dongwoo up front come under a lot of pressure from Lee with because he was switching to map 2 as well. The roughs certainly looked like they were quite considerably slower than the McLarens after the pit stop. So. I guess it was that tight on fuel. I mean, we saw Concardo, I think, run out of fuel on the last lap as well. So, yeah, I mean, how much fuel did you have as you crossed the line?
Right when I crossed the line, it estimated I had 0 laps left. I probably had like 0.1 liters or something. It was really close. I had no idea it would be that close. I didn't practice the map 2 stint by myself. I only practiced map 1, so I was really surprised.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see the Ford GT out there being able to make it. Well, should be able to make it. Didn't quite happen in there. That certainly spiced it up a little bit. You guys all came out of the pits, and still Concardo was out there lapping away. So, I mean, what was your thoughts on that? Did you know you were going to get him, or?
Yeah, I think we were catching him so fast that it was just a matter of time before passing him. I was just trying to keep close with Jungkyum Kim ahead of me. I was trying to keep in contact with, hoping he would make a mistake, because using map 2, it'd be really difficult to pass. We have no power on the straight. So.
Yeah, what sort of difference? Sorry, Brenton, you go.
Kevin, is it something that you would consider for tactic, guys? I think Concardo swapped cars tonight, holding on to tactics. Is it something that you think about every week, or you just lock yourself into the McLaren because you're feeling confident and comfortable in that car?
Yeah, I'm the type of person that just likes to stick to one thing. Yeah, I just stick with the MP4. I think if I kept on switching, I'd have even worse lap times than I have now.
Well, thanks a lot, Kevin. Where are we at next week? I haven't got the
Bathurst.
Oh, is it Bathurst?
Yeah,
It's all been swapped out. So, yeah, that's going to be exciting for you guys. What's your thoughts going into that one?
I'm a little bit scared. I've never actually been to that track, and I've heard many horror stories. So I'm trying to prepare myself.
Well, I think.
Well, Kevin, I just did 42 laps tonight in the V8s, mate. All I can say is stay off the walls. It is a daunting track. It's my favourite track. It's a lot of people's favourite track. If you keep off the walls, I'm sure you'll do really well.
Yeah, that was my tactic for this race, and I think Bathurst is going to be even more difficult. But I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thanks a lot, Kevin. Anyone you want to give a quick shout out to while you're on here?
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Team Korea. They did incredible. I think they took the top 5 spots. They're just kicking butt this season. So congrats to them, and congrats especially to Inho. He's driving perfectly this season.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us in the box, and good luck next week at Bathurst, and we'll catch you then.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Cheers, Kevin.
Kevin there. Fantastic drive. He'll be delighted with that. He's doing well in the championship as well. 4th place at the moment, so with Maluna not around this week, he's certainly going to have closed the gap up there. In fact, he might well have jumped him actually, so we might see him in 3rd place next week. We'll get some final confirmation on that, probably just before the start of the race. I'm guessing Inho and Min Park are going to have a little interview at some point. Just waiting for them to jump into the channel, make sure they're all okay. Don't want to drag them mid-conversation.
But as Kevin pointed out rightly, it's mostly about the team's result as well. And top 5 positions going to Korea. They had a very healthy lead in the championship, and that healthy lead's become almost unsurpassable already in the championship. With the top 5. Just, very dominant by the Koreans too.
Yeah, I mean they're already leading the championship as far as that goes, but wow, top 5, that is so impressive. Just gonna quickly see if we can get hold of Min first. Yeah, he has jumped up, so.
Yep.
Hi Min, welcome to the commentary booth, and congratulations on race today. We thought early on that it was going to be a difficult race for everyone to finish, and you brought it to. You had quite an eventful race, a lot of action. We saw you on the camera a lot, so yeah, just tell us a little bit about how your race went.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm quite new to this kind of serious sim racing world, so I just try to do my best, and my the aim was the safe race, and I try not to get any incident point, and I'm pretty happy with what I've done so far. And but I've got the pit stop strategy mixed up. Other than that, I'm pretty satisfied. Yeah, all good.
Min, we noticed that you had to stop twice. You came in. Were you really low on fuel when you did your first stop, or do you think you could have done another lap or 2?
Actually, I haven't really practiced much for this race, and I thought it'll be pretty much same as Watkins Glen race last week. So I thought, the 2 stop will be the normal, but it wasn't. Yeah, that's my bad.
If I can, AC, I don't really know many of the drivers, but I can't help but notice that Min's got a Australian accent. So Min, whereabouts are you at the moment?
Yeah, I've got. I'm actually in Sydney at the moment, but I started off with Korean sim racing community, so I'm just sticking to Korean team at the moment.
Okay, that's what that describes that then.
No, you can't have him, Brenton. He's not going to join you.
Early days.
Yeah. Why would he want to join? Why would he want to leave the team that just got a top 5 finish in that race? Well,
that's right. A dominant position by Korea, Min. So you must be proud and happy with the team position. Sorry, AC.
Yeah, I am. They doing really great, and at the same time, I'm learning a lot from these guys, and it's just been great.
Well, that's going to be my next question. Actually, was do you guys work together as sort of in the club and try and improve each other's like driving line setups, or is it much of you guys just sort of do your own thing?
Yeah, we have pretty much the practice session regularly, pretty much every day, and there's Yoni Lee, who didn't join race today. He teaching us a lot of basics and stuff.
Well, congratulations, Min. Anyone you want to give a quick shout out to while you're here?
I think Wanya Lee, he just joined the first time today, and I think he did a great job as well. And yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it looked like he had second place in the bag until he stuffed it into the wall late on. But he definitely gave us some excitement for those last couple of laps. So yeah, we picked up on him doing such a great job. So yeah, well, thanks a lot for joining us in the comms box. Good luck at Bathurst next week. It's going to be a very, very interesting track for everyone out there. Drive much the same as you did tonight, and I'm sure you'll have a good result.
Yeah, I'm pretty scared actually. Yeah, I'll have to do a lot of practice. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Well done. We're going to have to teach you, AC, how to say Bathurst, not Bathurst.
Whatever. Potato, tomato, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Righto.
We just lost the race winner. I was about to drag him up, but he jumped off the channel. It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, would have been good to hear from him.
But yeah, congratulations, Min, bringing it home. Good result. And yeah, just kind of actually just thinking about that more. That top 5 for Korea there. I mean, that absolutely stuffs it to the competition. And yeah, I'm not sure what anyone can do really to fight that. And clearly they're working well together. Practice sessions up and all that kind of stuff. It just goes to show perhaps the you know, the effort those guys are putting in as a sort of like a team and country starting to really show.
And not just driving the one make of car as well, in both the Ruffs and the McLaren. If there was one thing I would ask of this series, and I should get in touch with the administrator, is on the skins, put your country's flag in or something like that so we can identify that type of thing so much easier. But yeah, top 5 positions for Korea, you'd like to think that that championship's pretty much over already.
Yeah, I would second that actually. I mean, unfortunately, the overlay that we've got picks up on the club that they're in as well. So we'll only see, you know, the Asia Club logo pop up. We can't break it down into the each individual ones, unfortunately. So yeah, something like that, some identifying marks on the car, that will really help us sort of push the excitement of the inter-team rivalry when it comes to the race as well. But nonetheless, we had a fantastic race today, and wow, if the Bathurst race is going to be anything like what we saw earlier on from the V8 Supercar race, it should be an exciting one.
Oh yeah, always a great track, and it's built for good racing, Bathurst as well. There's lots of overtaking places. Difference in the track, you got the long straights with the tight corners at the top of the mountain, but pretty much a free flowing track, very much a driver's circuit. So yeah, you'd expect the Dongwoo Gang and Yuhong Yon to do very well there again. One little slip up, and I'm sure there'll be someone that can take their positions. Question I would be interested at if we get the chance, maybe not this week but next week, is do they have team orders within the Korean camp? There was some very tight racing at the end, but I wonder if they actually have team orders.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We'll perhaps try and grab one of them next week and just see how that all works out. But yeah, fantastic. Can't say anything more really than top 5. Really, again, driver of the day, I think has to go to is it Jaren Wong for his drive back through from the back and having to have an extra pit stop than normal as well. So I think you'd probably second that.
Yeah, definitely would second that. I think started from pit lane 31st up to 10th with the potential. You know, Charles is here in front of him, 2 stopped, but Jaren to get in the top 10 from his position. Fantastic effort. You know, we're not going to discount the leaders for driver of the day, but to make up that many positions is very respectable.
Well, thanks for joining me in the commentary box once again, Brenton. It's, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens at Bathurst. Are you going to be around for that one, or?
Well, seeing that you're going to be in the F1s next week, and good luck to you for that. and congratulations on your result last week. Yeah, I'll be here, hold up the fort. Hopefully we'll have someone here next to me. But yeah, no, good luck in the F1s next week, mate.
Yeah, thanks very much, and thanks for everybody tuning in. As always, we'll be back next week, so the V8 Supercar on Saturday in the morning gets uploaded directly to YouTube, not going out live. Luke doing a great job on the cameras there last week, and he'll be doing the same thing again. And this race should go out from about 12:40 GMT. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Round 5 of Sim Racer Asia Series from Canada and Montreal. I've been Alex Simpson. I've been joined by Brenton O'Brien. We have had a fantastic race, and we look forward to seeing you next week.